Reverend Crystal Cox, Goddess Church, Fort Townsend, Washington. bbgoddesschurch@gmail.com to donate to our church. We're reading today out of the Awakener. We're on page 66. Phew. That was in a mouthful. Okay. The mission plan is to increase the level of light on Earth and to raise human consciousness and vibration by the end of its decade. Right, and like I said, this book is a couple of decades old. So, 97. So yeah, that would have been. They hoped on it by 2000. So we're still in it. There's a lot of density here, you know. Okay. Based on the effectiveness of the intricate mission plan, it was considered that the Earth and all her life forms had the potential of already being fully raised in vibration prior to the full photon energy reaching Earth. And I remember a lot of my studies in the 90s and 2000, early 2000 was about the photon belt and all this stuff happening, and we're still, let's see, I think we have moved fully into it now. Not sure on all that. The timing of the entire plan has been meticulously arranged. The preparation had to be exact to give the people of Earth enough time to make their link to the source and raise their vibration sufficiently to make an easy bridging into the fifth dimension. It was originally planned that by the time the photon energy fully reached Earth, humanity would at least need to be close to the vibration needed for their ascension. They could then be assisted in the last stage by this wonderful mass of photon light. Let us look at whether we feel that humanity is at a level now to incorporate a mass of high-frequency photon energy. And that is, you know, like the event that people talk about, the great light. We have been increasing our frequency and our light. The Schumann resonance is just wow, right? And we've been burning out. We have solar flares, just hot, just these hot flashes, that just this massive burnout. As the lower densities are being zapped. Okay. It was originally planned that by the time the photon energy fully reached Earth, humanity would at least need to be close. Okay. Let us look at whether we feel that humanity is at the level now. Okay. We are seeing the divine plan at work in the wonderful massive shift in consciousness that is occurring across the world. And right now we are in the age of Corona, the great pause, the great awakening. And so that whatever's not been awakened is being awakened. And whatever wasn't exposed is being exposed. Everything is on schedule and the goals are being achieved. However, energy forces must be handled with care, or a shattering effect ensues. Which is why we're doing this coronavirus thing. We don't want to shatter people's consciousness. They are, so many of them, asleep and trusting the government, trusting Western medical system, trusting the health officials, not trusting themselves. And so in order to pull them away from that system, they were ready, or we wouldn't be doing this. But, and that's why us as light workers are in all these different areas, to beam out light, to beam out frequency, to beam out vibration, as people are going through this. And that's why it's happened so slow. Like in March, it's like the frog boiling pot thing, right? Oh, it's just going to be like a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, and now on and on and on, right? Now we're nearly at October. And people are kind of getting used to it. And so kind of weaning them off of the addiction to work and shopping and school and the system as it was. If you check with your inner guidance, you may perhaps feel that humanity is not quite ready for a sudden massive influx of extremely high frequency energy. They are now. If the light force should decide that they want the photon belt to reach Earth before the bulk of humanity is sufficiently raised in vibration to receive it, would seem likely that fear, chaos, and mass death would ensue. So we already passed all those points. Because the power would be similar to being struck by a bolt of lightning. If beings were unable to cope with such a massive change, their physical bodies would die. The light force agreeing, believing it will happen, is the creation of agreement. Okay, so, right, agreeing is believing that it will happen. That Earth will make an early connection with the photon belt would mean that the bulk of humanity would not have the benefits of the many plans designed to increase awareness and vibration due to take place in this last decade, which is what we're doing now with the coronavirus, right? We're doing this huge last hurrah to increase awareness, which awakens people and increases their frequency and vibration for ascension to the fifth dimension. It would then follow that the majority could not attain ascension, but would need to continue in a third-dimensional learning pattern on another planet. The divine plan for Earth includes the opportunity for all humanity to ascend and allows for each individual to choose this or not. Many long incarnations have been spent here by the light force to help this occur. The light force on Earth may consider it to be the highest wisdom to allow the divine plan to manifest as originally laid out. We can make a personal decision based on our inherent spiritual intuition and heartfelt knowing. If you are unsure as to what exactly is the highest divine order, you can use the right to decree and ask for whatever is best in the highest divine order to take place. And we'll be talking about the right to decree in chapter 9, so in later audios. Predictions exist to show us the current range of probable realities that are being chosen by the majority as the most likely possibilities. And they figured all that out with quantum computers, and that's why the coronavirus mask thing that's going on now was the best and gentlest path for people to awaken in mass. Okay, some predictions are issued as tests. Others are made to allow us to see what we are tending to create. Some are channeled from beings in lower dimensions who are therefore not receiving an overall higher picture. When a prediction is made that appears not to be in accordance with highest divine order or produces fear, this does not mean this event is a foregone conclusion. If anyone, upon hearing or reading such a prediction, immediately believes it to be so, they have just added the weight of their own power and energy to that possible occurrence. Your belief creates your reality, and if enough of you believe one thing, mass consciousness, you're creating reality for the rest of us. So stop it. As you realize that you create the world you live in, you start to take more responsibility about the things you choose to believe. And you know your belief. Every thought, every program, find out what you believe so that you're creating reality conscious instead of unconsciously. Okay, I'm going to read that all again. As you realize that you create the world you live in, you start to take more responsibility about the things you choose to believe. You start to support only the highest truth. Instead, when hearing such a prediction, you could act as a master and use your intuition to discern whether this possible reality would be the most loving and optimum solution for the highest good. If you felt that this prediction would not be beneficial to the greater number, you could then make a decision to agree to something you felt would be best. We create our reality. The decision made by the majority of lightworkers creates the reality that is to be experienced on Earth. Let us all continue to create the divine plan on Earth in all its perfect magnificence. A wonderful new world dawns on the horizon, bathed in the splendor of the golden ray of the Christ consciousness, as we who choose it come home. Yay! All right, so we ended on page, well, we'll start next time on chapter 5, and Goddess bless you. Have a beautiful day. I love you.